a beautiful day. You want to know why? Do you want to know why? It's another Bang Tang birthday.
My vibe. Get out my zone.
Kim Taeyoung, Taetae, Winter Bear, Baby Bear, everything. Today is Taetae's birthday, and so along with that comes some book recommendations, and that means we're just getting closer and closer to Hope's birthday, and I cannot wait for Hope's birthday. Happy birthday, V. Happy birthday. I hope you are somewhere happy, healthy, safe, and feeling all the love you deserve. So today I'm going to be giving book recommendations based off of his friendships with each member. So I'm going to go in Bang Tang order. So let's get into it. I feel like this lip gloss looks so weird, like my lips are blending into my face. Also, if the bun goes awry, just pretend it never happened. I did my best with recommendations for the friendships because I feel like with me recommending books for friendship groups, I would have had to already read the book, and that limits me to a lot of books, so it was kind of hard for me, but I did my best. So hopefully you agree. If you don't agree, leave in the comment section below. But the first friendship that I have to talk about is Tae and Junie. So
아미, 사랑해요. Yeah.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you for touching me.
며칠 떨어져 있으면 연락 안 한다.
Red Monster, I'm proud of you. Man, I was so impressed. You possible English, man.
안녕하세요. Hello.
Hi,
How you doing, man?
I'm God.
You're God?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm nervous.
Oh, you're nervous?
Yeah.
Oh, nervous?
Yeah.
So can you introduce yourself to 어떤 여자를 사랑한다. 약간 이런.
to me, I feel like their friendship is very, I don't know how to explain it. Like, I feel like they're very both complex people, and I feel like RM is like an older brother kind of to Tae, and Tae's very different but similar to RM because RM loves art, he loves nature, and Tae loves drawing, he loves art, he loves nature as well, but I feel like their personalities are very different. June is very to himself, and he doesn't show affection that much, and I feel like he's like headstrong with like being in charge of things and things being in order. And I feel like with Tae is a very affectionate person and someone who loves to show love to all of the members, and giving hugs and giving kisses is like Tae's thing. And I feel like Tae's a little bit chaotic. He's kind of like the little brother in the group to me, even though I know JK is the youngest. I feel like Tae's kind of the like sporadic crazy one at sometimes, always in something. So I feel like with him and June, they have like a big brother little brother dynamic. With each member, they teach each other things. June learns to be more affectionate, and June learns to see through Tae's eyes. So I feel like the closer that they are, the more he takes from him. This is a little bit of a silly recommendation. Don't come for me, okay? This is a little bit of a silly recommendation. I recommended, for Tae and June's friendship, I recommended the BFG, which is one of my childhood favorite books of all time, which follows this girl that ends up in this land of giants. I'm pretty sure, I can't remember, I've only read it once and it was when I was a kid, and it's pretty much this girl that ends up in this land of giants, and she ends up befriending one of the giants, and she was scared of him, but then they end up being friends and they get really close, and they see the world very differently, but he protects her and she looks out for him, and just their little friendship together is really interesting and it's cute. Looking at Junie, I feel like he's such like he's like a gentle giant, so I figuratively and literally picked a giant based book for him. And then I feel like with Tae, he just looks at the world with like just innocent eyes, so I picked child as a main character. So their friendship to me reminds me a lot of June and Tae's friendship because they're different but they're similar and they help each other out. So that's the book that I recommended for their friendship. So the next friendship is Tae and Jin. So we have Taejin and
이것들이 왜 자꾸 왜 자꾸 나한테 카메라를 들이밀어.
많이 사랑하고 특히 내일 생일인 우리 태영아 형아가 많이 사랑해.
For them, I feel like they're both really chaotic. Like I feel like even though Jin is like the eldest in the group, Jin is very funny to me. I feel like he tries Tae a lot, like tests him, but Tae doesn't back down, and I love seeing them together because they're so hilarious, especially on stage. And I feel like a book that would be really, really good for them would be a book that was based in like an alternate universe like game book. And I haven't read any books like that, which is why it was hard for me to give a recommendation. The book that I recommended is really popular in the book community. Honestly, if there's no friendships that's similar to them in that book, I do want to see them in that world, so I feel like it just goes with the flow there. For Tae and Jen, I recommended Ready Player One, which is a video game book that's like based in a different world, and I feel like Tae and Jen would have like the time of their lives. They would have the time in their lives if they were in like an alternate universe that was a video game. Like especially Jin, he would be all over that. So I just feel like them together in that alternate universe would be so much fun. Them battling against each other would be even better, but I couldn't find any books that were what I was looking for. I was looking for something that was like two players against each other. It is a game, so they are challenges in there, so I feel like they would fit right up in there. So don't come for me for this recommendation. Don't come for me for any of these recommendations, okay? Because I did my best. Out of all of the 6 friendship groups, this is my favorite ship. We have Suga and we have taetae.
진짜가 온 멤버가 있었어요.
누구죠? 왜 무서워?
진영이야? 수가요.
아 내가 상상도 못했다.
솔직히 저는
왜 상상 못해? 왜 상상 못해? 왠지 알려줄까? 난 너한테 메시지를 5번도 못 받아봤기 때문이지. 그것도 한 줄.
진짜 더 예상도 못했었고.
오야 진짜.
네. 근데
여기 누구냐?
중간 말은 다 이제 생략하고 맨 끝말이 전 되게
기억에 남는구나.
네, 처음 들었어요.
하지마! 하지마!
해야 돼.
너무 궁금하다. 이거 무슨
기적으로 이제 나간다.
하면 나오고 있어.
내용이 귀엽다.
형이 노른자 먹어요.
챙겨준 거야?
형이 노른자 먹어요.
형 또 이렇게 노른자에 풀어먹은 거 어떻게 알고?
형 노른자 먹.
왜?
사랑해요.
그래. 고맙다.
왜 말을 안 해요? 말을 안 해.
아이 고맙다.
아 말을 한번 해줘야지.
아 됐어.
말을 한번 해줘야지 나가지. 그러면 안 나가지. 아. 말을 한번 해줘야지.
네 사랑한다.
갈게요. 형 근데 뭐라고 해서 안 들렸어요.
아이 사랑한다고.
So together they are Taeji. This is my favorite ship solely because I feel like Suga is so he's so hard to get through. He acts like he doesn't like affection, but I feel like he really does like attention and like love. He's like a cat, okay? If you're in the fandom, you know he's like a cat. Like he just pretends that he doesn't want attention, but he wants attention from the guys. And I feel like with him and Tae together, I just love it because it's like kind of like that grumpy and sunshine trope, and it's similar with Suga and Hope together, which is so their friendship as well. I feel like it's the grumpy and the sunshine friendship together, and I just love seeing them together because you kind of see Suga's shell breaking a little bit when he's with Tae, because he is sweet to him and he protects him and he looks out for him, and I feel like Tae does the same for him. Tae loves out loud. Like he loves out loud. Like he does not hide how he feels. But with like Yoongi, I feel like he doesn't show his love out loud. He shows it in secret. Like he'll do like little things to show that he cares for each member. But I just love their friendship together. So the book that I recommended for this friendship group was Bloom. So this book follows the MC, and he works for his family's bakery, and he's ready to break out, okay? He's ready to live a life full of music, and he wants to pursue his music dreams, but at the same time, music isn't making him happy 100%. Like there are some things that are making him sad within the music world, so that's a hardship for him. But then they end up hiring someone that loves baking, and his name is Hector. He looks at baking completely opposite of what Ari does, and they end up being friends, and I think it goes to like friendship to lover. But I've never read this book personally, but just reading that initially, I thought about Tae and Suga. I just feel like it's such a similarity because like with Suga, he worked so hard to get to where he is now and like constantly make music and do that for a living, but it does have its hardships. Like with his latest song that he came out with, Sugar's Interlude, he talked a lot about like how hard he worked to get there and like was it worth it to work this hard to get here, because there are dark days in the music industry and it is tiresome and exhausting and very demanding. So as a creative, he has times where he feels, you know, has hardships within the music industry, and the fact that the MC is pursuing music but he also has hardships within music is neck and neck. And then I feel like obviously Tae is just like full of love. Okay, he's just full of love and joy. So the other MC, Hector, that comes in and starts cooking and working for them and just like loves cooking and is so happy to be there, of course I put him as Tae. So just their friendship and their whole storyline reminded me a lot of Tae and Suga, and I would love to read this book so bad because it's definitely on my TBR now that I found it, but it reminds me a lot of them, so that's the book that I recommended. So the next friendship that I have is Tae and Hope. So we have Vope.
뭐 법? 왜냐면 호흡에다가
법. 야, 법 괜찮은데, 법?
호석이 형한테 계속 얘기하고 있거든요.
네.
나 형 너무 사랑하는 것 같다고.
그러지 마세요.
제가 요즘에 맨날 볼 때마다
이 인기를 어떻게 해야 되지 이거?
맨날 볼 때마다 제가 진짜 형 진짜 너무 좋아하는 것 같다고 내가
네,
맨날 들었어요 요즘에.
맞습니다.
진짜 좋겠지. 형 좀 그래도 딱 해봐요.
저희가 오늘 콘서트를 되게 열심히 파이팅해서 다들 졸리는 것 같습니다. 하나 둘 셋 차.
V 바로 들어갑니다.
플라밍고 하나 뽑아주고 싶어요. 우석이 형 줘야겠다. 우석이 형이 플라밍고를 본 적이 없다고.
와 진짜 미쳤다. 이거 왜 이렇게 귀엽냐? 와 대박이다. 봐봐. 야 이거 봐봐. 와 이거
I
진짜
feel like with Tae, he's very caring, and I feel like he finds so many little ways to look after Hope, because I feel like Hope is very humble. I feel like all the members are humble, but I feel like Hope works so hard and gives so little recognition to how hard he works, and I feel like Tae randomly just has these outbursts telling him how much he loves him or showing him how much he loves him or just doing little things to make him feel appreciated, and I really admire that in their friendship. I feel like Tae was giving him recognition even before he started getting like spotlights. More people started paying attention to him in the group. Even before that, I feel like Tae paid attention to him a lot. Talked about a lot about how hard he dances, how hard he works and stuff like that. And he just really looks out for him. So the book that I picked for this friendship is The Rest of Us Just Live Here. And I read this book and I absolutely loved it. So this book follows all of the background people in all of the fantasy books. So whenever you read a fantasy book, there is always the prophecy, and the main character, the one that is like in all the adventures, but then in the background you have like regular people going through regular things in a normal life. So this book follows the people that are in the background, the people that don't have these amazing cool prophecies and amazing adventures, just the people that are living a normal day-to-day life and try to get through. So this whole book follows a group of friends and them just looking after each other and helping each other through their hardships. And I love this book so much because it was so simple, and it was really funny because it's like you don't think about the side characters or the background characters when you're reading a fantasy book. You really just pay attention to the main event. So to see the background characters get recognition was really interesting, and I feel like this friendship group really bounced off of each other and loving each other and paying attention to each other's issues and things they needed to like look after each other and make sure each person was well taken care of. And I feel like I just love the friendship in this group. It was a group of them, and I feel like they all watched after each other, and I really love that. And I feel like it's the same with Hope and with Tae, because they look out for each other, and Tae definitely looks out for Hope. So I love that. So that's the book that I recommended for them. This is another one of my favorite ships. So this friendship is between V and Jimin.
네가 먹히면 어떻게 스스로?
아 그래? 내가 먹힌 거야? 내가 먹은 거 아니야?
뭐라는 거야? 내가 먹은 거죠.
얼마나 여기? Would you like to go outside?
여기 버드에서 혼자 쓸래?
스케줄 끝나고.
그럼 뭐 하는 거야? Let's sleep.
오케이.
Let's sleep.
오케이.
아 저기요.
공기청.
안 나왔다 같은데?
생각해주고 나 때문에 노력해주고 이해해주고 고민 들어주고 한없이 부족하고 못난 친구 많이 좋아해줬어. 앞으로도 오래 같이 꽃길만 걷자. 사랑한다 친구.
야 멋있다. 지민이가 되게 힘들어하지 말고 딱 듣고 딱 감동받고.
And just oh my god, V and Jimin they're like the epitome of soulmate friendships. Like they just were meant to be friends. And I feel like as they've grown up, like when you look back in their old videos and stuff like that, when you see how much they've grown together, I feel like their friendship has made them grow into the people that they are. And I feel like they were meant to be together. Like all 7 of the boys were meant to know each other, but I feel like you can really feel it with Tae and Jimin because they're just so close. And I just love seeing how they interact, how they love each other, how they care for each other, and they're just so sweet. They always make me cry because they're so sweet together. So the book that I recommended for them is The Song of Achilles, and this book follows obviously Achilles. I'm pretty sure everybody knows what this book is about, but I love this book so much because I feel like even though it was friendship to lovers book, I feel like just the friendship portion of the book was so well done, and I feel like just seeing those 2 characters together and how they both needed each other, more so Achilles needed him more than he needed Achilles, but I feel like their friendship together was really like strong and powerful, and I feel like they were supposed to be friends, and I feel like Achilles became legendary because they ended up being so close. And I feel like the entire structure of his legend and his story and who he was as a person was sprouted from their friendship and the way that they loved each other. And I feel like with like Jimin and V, seeing them together was really interesting because I feel like Jimin, when he was younger and he was a teenager, I feel like he had a lot of anger issues. So like he was very closed off, you know, he had a really strong Busan accent, so he was worried about people making fun of him. But V was very out there and all over the place, and he wanted him to meet his friends, he wanted him to be around everybody, and so he always introduced them to his friends, but he still was very quiet. But I feel like just them together, it's just so sweet. I just love seeing them together, and that's the book that I recommended for them. Even though it's friendship to lovers book, but I feel like it really represents like soulmates, and it really reminds me a lot of Jimin and V's friendship because they're so good together. I just love them together because they're so sweet and they just such babies. So the final book that I have here is for Taetae and Koo. So we have these 2 together is Taekook.
비용 생방이에요.
나 그대에게 드릴 말 있네.
And for them, I feel like their relationship is just like brothers. Like they're very close in age. I feel like they're similar to each other, and I feel like they grew up a lot together. and just seeing them together, they're very chaotic. They're all over the place, but they're very fun together, and I like seeing them because they remind me of like younger siblings. And they're both very emotional at times. I feel like they're similar in a lot of ways. And I love seeing them together as well. So the book that I recommended for them, A List of Cages. And this book I have not personally read, but it follows an MC who runs into his foster brother from the past. They haven't seen each other in over 5 years, and now they're in the same school, and they end up growing a friendship. So one of the brothers, he's in trouble in the house that he is now, and he's trying to do everything that he can to protect him and get him out of that situation. So it pretty much just follows their journey as brothers and how he's trying to make sure that he protects him and make sure that he's okay. So that book just immediately reminded me of Cook and Taetae, because I feel like they have this brother dynamic, and I feel like if either one of them were in danger, they will look out for one another. And I feel like as complex as it is having a found family or a foster brother, I feel like with them, they are a found family. So like having a brother or having someone that's there for you and there to protect you and take care of you is really important. And I feel like just the foster brother dynamic and found family dynamic of this book would be really similar to the way that Tae and Cook react together. So that's the book that I picked for them. That concludes these book recommendations. They may not all be perfect, but you know what? Your girl worked with what she had, alright? The video's gonna go up a little bit later than everyone else's, but you know what? It's fine, okay? It's fine. Happy birthday, Tae. I hope you are well. I hope you are happy. I hope you are loved. And Twitter is just spamming with all the tags, showing you all the love you deserve. If you do love BTS, let me know who your bias is. I would love to know who your bias is. Thank you so much for watching. Always remember, read a book, keep your life interesting, and I will see you next time.